I had been married to Emily for 12 years, and we had been together for 14. Though our relationship wasn't flawless, we managed to navigate the ups and downs, or at least I thought we did. We had our share of struggles, but infidelity was never an issue, at least none that I was aware of. I always believed we'd face our problems together. In September 2022, I was in a serious accident with a delivery truck. While I didn't suffer severe injuries, I was left with chronic back pain that made it impossible to return to my job as a mechanic. After a few months of trying to work, my condition only worsened, and my doctor advised me to stop working entirely. In May 2023, I had an emergency appendectomy, which led to complications. When I asked Emily to take me to the hospital, she was more concerned about her appearance than my well-being. She insisted on doing her makeup first and refused to drive, so I ended up driving myself to the hospital with her as a passenger. After surgery, the hospital wanted to keep me overnight for observation due to a possible infection. I asked her to stay with me, but she refused, even though I was still in a lot of pain. In June, during a tense conversation, I made a joke about us possibly separating. She snapped, telling me she felt trapped and overwhelmed. I understood her stress, as I couldn't work and she had to handle everything financially. She was taking on a lot, and I had applied for assistance to help cover our mortgage. 2 weeks later, Emily told me she planned to spend the night with a coworker to talk things through. I supported her, hoping it would help. When she mentioned she had made dinner plans for her birthday with this coworker, I was hurt. It turned out the coworker was a man. We argued intensely, and I left to stay at my mother's for a while. I tried to cool off, but after a few hours I went to a friend's house. When Emily found out, she accused me of abandoning our marriage. Despite everything, I decided that 14 years together was too significant to throw away over one issue. We agreed to try to work on our relationship for 6 more months before making any final decisions. However, just 4 weeks later, I discovered that she had been looking for apartments. When I confronted her, she suggested that having her own space could save our marriage. I was confused. How could a year-long lease fix things, especially when I couldn't even pay the bills? She found a place, moved out, and left me with all the financial responsibility. I had warned her that if she went through with it, I would file for divorce. She was determined, and so she moved into her new apartment, leaving me to deal with everything alone. Her departure was a mix of relief and sadness. It gave me space to reflect, but the financial strain and living alone after so many years of marriage were overwhelming. We kept in touch sporadically, but our conversations were filled with unresolved issues and tension. I was also struggling with my health, making everything even harder to navigate. As I adjusted to my new life, I focused on managing my pain and getting treatment. The emotional burden was just as heavy, and I struggled with feelings of betrayal. Eventually, I realized that our relationship was beyond repair. The emotional distance and her decision to leave made it clear we couldn't continue as we were. About 2 weeks before she moved out, I became suspicious that there was more to her decision than she was letting on. I did something I'm not proud of. I checked her phone. What I found shocked me. She had been texting another man for months, and some of the messages were explicit. When I confronted her, she dismissed it as a joke. But then she told me that because I hadn't been intimate with her, she had to seek satisfaction elsewhere. A few weeks later, she moved into her apartment, and I told her I was filing for divorce. First, she thought I was bluffing. But without children involved, the divorce process was straightforward and finalized by December 2023. The weeks leading up to it were filled with manipulation and gaslighting. Despite everything, I helped her move out because she had no one else to turn to, and I thought it might give me some closure. In October 2023, She was in a car accident, totaling her vehicle. Though she didn't go to the hospital, she asked to borrow my car. I refused and we argued. That was the last significant interaction we had, and communication between us dwindled to almost nothing. As time passed, I focused on my recovery, seeking treatment for my back pain. I even underwent a procedure to help manage the pain and get back to a normal life. With the new year upon me, I made the decision to start dating again. I was ready to move on, explore new experiences, and hopefully find happiness in a fresh chapter of my life.